Welcome to Shared Insights, the podcast from BA Insight. My name is Pete Wright, and I am here once again with our Chief Technology Officer, Jeff Fried. You're joining us as we continue our conversation on search in life sciences and the data challenges facing that industry. Today, Jeff is back to share a story of a pharmaceutical R&D organization that is a bit more tilted toward the sciences, right, Jeff?
Absolutely. As I've mentioned, R&D is the real core lifeblood of life sciences companies. And this is a company that took on the scientific search first and foremost. The need to connect to the systems they're using for drug development and get access across those was the focus first and foremost. They did so with really good results. So unlike some of the last case I talked about, which took on enterprise-wide search, these guys focused on content that was in Documentum, which is one of our most popular connectors, Viva Vault, which is a big up-and-comer in life sciences, as well as Box and PubMed, which is a public source of scientific literature in health sciences. Integrating those four sources along with SharePoint and some file systems, so a total of 6, was what they thought would get a 80%, I call it my magic 80% picture, that the content that people are looking for, if you get at least 80%, then that's a good place to be.
I don't necessarily want to ask this question in contrast to the enterprise example that you just gave, but I'm curious what this project looked like in terms of the planning to implementation stage.
Like a lot of scientific search projects, this has fewer stakeholders. There's fewer requirements in terms of people are not trying to get at HR policies here, but a lot more technical and advanced requirements for different audiences. And this is where the concepts of recall and precision come in. If you're not familiar with them, the basic idea is that if you have a high recall app, recall is the making sure you didn't miss anything. So the percentage of things that are relevant that you actually find is the measurement of recall. So if you're doing an IP search, so I've got a drug, I want to see, has somebody patented this? Is there relevant science? You don't want to miss anything. The cost of missing it is very high. Mm-hmm. That's a high recall application. Whereas precision is the percentage of things that you look at that are relevant. If you have 100% precision, there's nothing on the page that you'd go, that's not important. And there's a trade-off between these two. So these guys are aiming to get as high on the precision recall curve as possible, as well as being able to tune towards what are the other for specific applications. So the project itself took longer because they're making use of not just connectors and auto classification. They're using the same connectors across just those 6 systems that I mentioned, but multiple repositories in those systems. And then they're doing pretty sophisticated content classification based upon an ontology and deep synonym support.
What is it that they wanted to achieve in terms of how well their performance improved? What were they seeking?
They were seeking a step up in researchers' ability to collect relevant knowledge, both internally and externally, and make, if you will, a portfolio that documented, prior knowledge and additive knowledge. So you can imagine that our smart previews with its workspace and ability to do document assembly is really important in that case, because you want to make a research brief that says, here's all the things that I found, here's the elements that are important within them, and then have links to the original documents. And they accomplish that by tapping the source systems and doing multiple types of auto-classification across, I mentioned mesh previously, which is a standardized ontology in the life sciences field, as well as custom taxonomies and ontologies for specific research purposes. This also included integration with a system called Linguamatics. And Linguamatics is a specialist in life sciences that does entity extraction and relationship extraction on a very deep linguistic basis. So when I say it had a lot more implementation for these very sophisticated features, that's the kind of thing I'm talking about. These researchers are spending a lot of time with the information, so they need a degree of control and the ability to make sure they haven't missed anything. One thing that was really cool to me about this project is that they made very extensive use of one of our products, the Federator, which allows for query and result processing. So when I talk about deep synonyms, out of the box SharePoint, for example, if you have compound phrases, it doesn't do full synonym expansion. I'll take an example. If you are searching for a car, you can say, well, I'll look for cars and autos and automobiles. But if I'm looking for a car mechanic, you'd think you'd also look for an auto mechanic. It doesn't work that way with SharePoint out of the box. So we changed that to expand out things in phrases and expand out on a much more sophisticated basis these sort of compound word synonyms. That's all done in the Federator. It was really cool to see a level of sophistication on a linguistic basis playing out in a project to get that level of recall.
I understand that this project is still very much in motion, and we don't have a lot of the data that I normally get excited about yet. But what's your sense of the objective satisfaction of these people who are using this? I mean, you had me at Smart Previews, building these portfolios of search results. I have to imagine that from a research perspective, this is a whole new day.
Yeah, so far so good. I think that this is a big step up. One of the things I notice in research communities is you rarely reach pure satisfaction because you get to something which is much, much better, and then people want more because there's
of course
more knowledge. And so the reaction so far has been very good and has also actually compiled a long list of, what about this? I could do that. What if I could bring in that content? What if I could do this kind of parsing on the fly? So a ton of good ideas as well.
Well, it's always good to have that kind of feedback. And at some point you want to say, you're partaking in the miracle of flight.
Yes, exactly. So most of those things are exactly going to be future phases. They're not going to wait until they're done to get the goodness that they've built already.
So much wonderful opportunity. I hope that this is one we can circle back around on as soon as you have some more of these, some more data, some more results to see just how well this impacts the organization, particularly in research and development. Great story.
Absolutely.
I am in the links in the show notes. I've put links to all of the services that you have and BA Insight products that you have mentioned through the course of our conversation today. Anything else specifically? Any other resources you would like me to throw in there now that I'm asking you?
Take a look at our life sciences page because it has lots of resources on it and gives you a sense of the use cases and the products that are involved.
Scroll right down. It's the first option in the show notes. Scroll right down in your podcast player, everybody, and you will see a link to BA Insight in Life Sciences right there to learn more about what BA Insight is doing in the life sciences. Jeff Fried, CTO, BA Insight, thank you so much for your time and attention today, as always.
You too, Pete.
And thank you, everybody, for downloading and listening and learning more about BA Insight's work in life sciences. On behalf of Jeff Fried, I'm Pete Wright, and we'll catch you next time right here on Shared Insights, the podcast from BA Insight.